How do you make Windows 7 fully case sensitive with respect to the file system? I want to make Windows 7 case sensitive when it reads/writes anything on the hard drive, the C drive, or any other NTFS drive. I found a video via Google that says to change the registry key to a value of 1, source. I also found a Windows support item that says something about modifying the registry key. That leads me to assume putting a value of 0 will make Windows case sensitive with NTFS file systems, source. I have a feeling the second solution is the answer, but I'm not sure and I don't want to try it without being sure. Does anyone know for sure what is the correct way to make Windows 7 case sensitive when it reads/writes to the C drive and any other NTFS drive?
You can set the hklm/system/current control set /control/session manager /kernel/word column obfuscate sensitive registry value to 0 as other authors suggested. Create a file named @.reg with the following content and run it. Then use Cygwin to work with case-sensitive file names. In order to do so, you need to mount NTFS file systems with POSIX equals 1 option in your /etc/stab, as this article suggests. Here's a snippet from my stab. Once the above is done, you'll be able to deal with case-sensitive file names using bash, mc, git etc.
All these settings that you can find on the web are for NFS, not for NTFS. Note the difference. NFS, Network File System, is a network protocol. Thus changing the registry key, hklm/system/current control set /control/session manager /kernel/obfuscate sensitive will not change anything you want. NTFS is case sensitive but Windows API is not. It only remembers the file name case. This means that despite your file is displayed as abc.txt, it is still accessible by abc.txt and abc.txt. This is a limitation of Windows, not NTFS. The other one key _current_user /software /Microsoft /Windows /current version /Explorer /advanced /don prettypath basically turns off the normalization of legacy 8.3 file names used by DOS, which are all caps. When it is turned on, default abc.txt will be displayed as abc.txt, but still be accessible by all other variations. To be more accurate, actually it depends on the software that accesses the Fs. If it uses Win32 API, which 99.9% of the software does, it will be case insensitive whatever you do. All built-in software in Windows, like Explorer, Command Prompt, Internet Explorer and etc., and all consumer software out there uses Win32 and is always case insensitive. NFS service, Java and some others are POSIX and they will obey the obfuscate insensitive registry setting. However, turning off the option might actually get you bigger problems, because this software can create files that are not accessible from Windows itself and other Win32 software.
In order to actually create two files with the same name but different case in the same directory, you need to install Unix Services 3.5, but this only works on 32-bit Windows. Then you need to run C shell to create the files. You can't create the files through Explorer. Once created, Explorer doesn't play nice with the files. If you go to rename the second one, the cursor jumps to the first one. Also, most applications can only open one of the files, as they expect a case-insensitive file system. If you are on 64-bit, install Cygwin and change it to case sensitive. I was trying to emulate a Linux case-sensitive file system for debugging purposes during development. It seems the better approach is to use VMware with an instance of Ubuntu for development.
What Microsoft has to say about NTFS and changing case sensitivity. Looks like you do not have to change the kernel to allow case-sensitive lookups on the network. This URL ws.10 asks. Configuring case sensitivity for file and folder names. Applies to Windows Server 2003 R2. To configure case sensitivity for file and folder names using the Windows interface, open Microsoft Services for Network File System, click Start, point to Programs, point to Administrative Tools, and then click Microsoft Services for Network File System. If necessary, connect to the computer you want to manage. Right-click Server for NFS, and then click Properties. Click the File Name Handling tab. Do one of the following. To enable case-sensitive file and directory name lookups, select the Enable Case-Sensitive Lookups checkbox. To disable case-sensitive file and directory name lookups, clear the Enable Case-Sensitive Lookups checkbox. Click Apply. Important: these changes will not take effect until Server for NFS is restarted. For information about how to stop and start Server for NFS, see Starting and Stopping Server for NFS. You also need to disable Windows kernel case insensitivity in order for Server for NFS to support case-sensitive file names. You can disable Windows kernel case insensitivity by clearing the following registry key to 0. hklm/system/current control set /control/session manager /kernel. Word obcasing sensitive. To configure case sensitivity for file and folder names using the command line, open the command prompt. To enable case sensitivity, type the following. Nsadmin server, computer name, config case sensitive lookups equals yes. To disable case sensitivity and optionally specify the case of file names returned by Server for NFS, at a command prompt, type the following. Nsadmin server, computer name, config case sensitive lookups equals no, nscase equals upper, lower, preserve. Argument and GT, computer name equals the name of the computer you want to configure. Important: these changes will not take effect until Server for NFS is restarted. For information about how to stop and start Server for NFS, see Starting and Stopping Server for NFS. Note that nscase option sets the case sensitivity for the NTFS file system. The default case sensitivity is preserve case. To view the complete syntax for this command, at a command prompt, type nsadmin server /.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.